Constitution recognized the rights of a group of people whose rights, whose existence, whose participation was being delegated to the background. So we had the Persons with Disability Act 2006, Act 715, which established the National Council on Persons with Disability to coordinate disability inclusive activities, collaborate with other agencies to ensure that issues of persons with disabilities are mainstreamed into national development, and tasked the National Council on Persons with Disability to maintain a register on persons with disability. In other words, maintain a disaggregated data on persons with disability. So if you say you are a person with disability, then the data should tell us your category of disability, where you live, your name, your level of literacy, parents, caregivers, which district and region you live here in Ghana. So per the disaggregated database of the National Council on Persons with Disabilities, we have identified 26 categories of persons with disabilities. We have persons with physical disabilities. We have the deaf. We have persons who are nonverbal. That is, they can hear, but they are nonverbal. Persons with communication disabilities, including speech and language abilities. If it takes the person a long time to say a word, or the person has the word in mind but cannot say it. Previously, they said they are not smart, but it's not because they are not smart, but they have communication disabilities. We have persons who are hard of hearing. There are others you need to scream before they can hear you. And so when they are talking, they also speak out very, very loud, thinking that they need to scream so that you can hear them. Then we have persons with visual disabilities. So within this group, we have the blind and those who have lost sight in one eye, those who, because of the color of the room, may not be able to see, but when they go to another room, because of the color, may be able to see. Then we have persons with multiple disabilities, such as the deaf-blind, then persons with psychosocial disabilities. Those within the psychosocial disabilities, we have over 38 of them. Then we have persons with cerebral palsy. We have the bipolar, those with bipolar conditions, attention deficit. You can go on and on and on. And getting to the latter part, persons with leprosy, those with hunchback, little persons, burn survivors, they all constitute persons with disabilities.
So what it does is that a lot of people are using a particular service, but that service is not really entrenched into the average Ghanaian on the street, to a larger extent coming onto the national kitty. So the idea of bringing everybody into a particular framework to ensure that institutions that is government-oriented and then the populace are able to access government services, birth the solution Ghana.gov. Now, I'll look at it in two buckets. The first bucket is the government institutions, where you and I go to access services. In the past, you go there with your bag with cash, and you go. I want this. Okay. No form of reference. It's 100 Ghana cedis. Oh, can you tesokakra, no, so that then Abanye Juman, so then you have somebody corner you at the back end and say, for 50 brand, sort out. What it does is that it doesn't create any level of equity. It doesn't create any level of transparency. At the end of the day, you don't even get a service. And then you see a whole lot of complaints. Then the end result is government official be announced a civil servant is corrupt. But who corrupted that person? It's you. Because you want a shortcut to what? Your service. So the idea of Ghana.gov is to make sure that all these barriers are taken care of. Issues around transparency, issues around accountability, and then issues around making sure that government recognizes the revenue that is expected of us. So today, if you sit in a village in and around somewhere at Cape 3 Point, if my memory serves me right, it's called Akinchin or so. If you sit in that village, up north to Zabzugu, you should be able to access government services without the hassle and bustle that used to exist in the past. So apart from accountability, what does Ghana.gov do or does to us? There's an issue around discovery, okay? And what is discovery? You have a lot of government services that do not necessarily generate revenue. They're just there to support the populace, or they are there as auxiliary service provided to other agencies. If you are somebody who is oblivious of their activity, all that you can do is that go onto Ghana.gov and check them out. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want a service, but rather you want to get educated. So that information is sitting down there. So for Ghana.gov, it is about discovery and what? Education. How do you do that? Today we have 2 channels for that approach. We have the website, whereby you can log on, and then you see all this information about government services, irrespective of whatever service you want, irrespective of whatever agency you want to engage. That solution is there.